District 12, where you can starve to death in safety. Hey everyone, this is Ritika. Welcome back to my channel. As most of you know, the movie of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes released last Friday. And in light of that, I have decided to do something different for today's video. For a while now, I've had this passion project of a sorts that takes a look at various novels individually to as small of a unit I can. So, a novel in a series will be looked at in a series and then can also be looked at just that, a novel in its right, and then can be broken down further into chapters. Oftentimes, we have all these different themes that novels and series of novels touch upon, but how exactly do these themes develop? That is a question I've been meaning to explore for some time. And since the new Hunger Games film is recently released, I figured this could be the perfect place to start and share on YouTube as well. Keeping that in mind, welcome back to my channel once again. In today's video, I'll be taking a look at the first chapter written by Suzanne Collins in the Hunger Games series. I'll also be rereading this text after a gazillion years once again, so I'm very skeptical of how that's gonna turn out, but hoping for the best. Moving on to the theme though, when I picked this book up the other day, I had really expected to talk about family or about the worlds of Panem, but reading it, the theme of poverty and hunger jumped at me very obviously. There was no two ways about it. I just had to talk about it, which is what I'll be doing today too. If you enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to hit like. If you'd like to see more in the series, then don't forget to subscribe and share, and maybe comment as well to let me know that. Thank you for watching. Before we begin, a 30-second summary of the chapter so far for the viewers who haven't read the books in a while, or at all. It's the day of the reaping. We meet Katniss, a family which includes her mother, her sister Prim, and their cat Buttercup. We find out about the Seam, about Panem, about the Hunger Games, and how they're a result of a past rebellion. We also meet Gale, Katniss's best friend, I think, at this point, who goes out hunting with her even though it is illegal. They understand that they would probably be dead if it wasn't for the enforcers of the law themselves who want to need the food. Poverty is a staple of the district, and it is very much visible everywhere. The reaping happens and Prim gets chosen. Whew, saved on time. Anyway, now, poverty as a theme in itself and its entirety often does not get chosen in pieces of literature. More often than not, it is actually a signifier of something: economic conditions, social conditions, the state of the government, and whatnot. In the Hunger Games, poverty is very intricately woven into the lives of the people of District 12. It is what defines who they are, as we'll see later on as well, and it is how they appear to the rest of the country too. And it is this way because of the backward condition of the district. District 12 is at the outskirts of the country, right at the border. The main job of the people here is to mine coal, which is what Katniss's father did too before he died in a mining accident. The children don't go to learn any special skills as they do in other places, except maybe to learn to survive on the bare minimum. If I talk about poverty in and of itself, then I can probably address how it can be a medium to represent a lot of things, as the later chapters of the book will show too. But I really want to address it solely on what I've read till date, which is only the first chapter. So I'm going to talk about it in terms of hunger. Hunger, of course, is an essential part of a human being's life. Multiple times in the chapter, Katniss addresses that she hunts to feed her family. They don't have enough to eat despite hunting, and they have to sleep on an empty stomach too sometimes. Yet she also thinks at one point, and I quote, "I could be shot on a daily basis for hunting, but the appetites of those in charge protect me. Not everyone can claim the same." Ergo, even though Katniss and her family have it bad, it is much worse for others. Not everyone can hunt like them and survive, which then begs the question of how do they? They live in the area of the district called the Seam, which is the poorest of the poor. Now, of course, there are other comparatively richer people too, like the mayor, like her mother's own family that she left when she married Katniss's father and moved to the Seam for him, like the peacekeepers as well. Despite that, the richer people can also afford only so much. Despite being comparatively better off, the mayor's daughter is not exempt from the reaping. Despite being government officials, the peacekeepers have to rely on Katniss and Gale's hunts for good meat and food, as they can't offer a lot on their own. Not to forget how the idea of poverty is often used against the poor, the ones who are already suffering from it. This is never more obvious than in the Tessera system. I hope I pronounced that right. Anyway, every teenager gets the ration of one person's food for the entire year if they agree to add their name once more for the reaping. When the book begins, Katniss has had her name in 20 times, even though she's only 16. Gale has had it for 42. They need to, else they might never be able to feed their families. This also results in resentment towards the other people who don't have to add their names as many times. The mayor's daughter, Madge, for example, may only have had her name in 5 times, one for each year from 12 to 16. When she makes a remark of how she might get to go to the capital, Gale really gets riled up because, of course, the odds are still relatively in her favor. The characters also point out how the system is rigged to ensure inequality within the people. If the poor hate the rich, then they'll never team up with them to support another rebellion. It's every person for themselves. This is the main result of the reaping and of the Hunger Games in general. Even the winners of the Hunger Games, in fact, work like that. Moreover, since District 12 has one of the most malnourished children of all the districts, they are already at a disadvantage when they go into the arena. They don't have any skill they can use to their favor, and all because there is no such skill of the district as a whole, except to mine. Over the course of 73 years, only two have ever won from the district, and it shows in how much their lack of privilege supports that. Poverty, in a way, then ensures that the citizens remain tied to the capital. They can't go out on their own to hunt for food because they'll get caught and die otherwise. And they can't survive on their own because, however meager all of it is, they rely on the capital for food. Choosing a protagonist who comes from the lowest of the lowest strata of the society in this country then highlights the awareness of the said protagonist towards the worries of the people. It grounds her into her reality. It makes her more likable, understandable, more real. It is someone the reader can connect to because she understands the importance of helping out the little guy or girl who is so often ignored by the rich, all the while also noting the privilege of the rich. For example, here is something Katniss thinks when she sees Mad's badge for the first time. His eyes land on a small circular pin that adorns her dress. Real gold, beautifully crafted. It could keep a family in bread for months. In other words, even when she sees something beautiful, all she can think of is how it could help reduce hunger. Beauty is non existent because the crisis of hunger comes first, and that is one of the main insights into the bad conditions of the district as a whole, and how the government, who is supposed to protect them, does nothing. That this is very much similar to our current world makes it all the more harsh and suffocating. And that is what struck me the most in the first chapter of the Hunger Games. On this somber note, then, I end today's video. There were, of course, multiple other themes that the first chapter addressed, but I will slowly explore them in the future too, for whenever they are the most evident. If 9 chapters pass, since this book has 27 in all, and I'm still unable to discuss any of the themes I've noted so far, then I'll make separate videos for them too. In the meantime, do let me know what you thought of today's video and if you think I should make more such ones. I really want to, but of course, whether or not I end up doing it depends on whether or not you'll watch, hence my questions. In any case, that's it from me today. Please let me know what you thought of it by doing the usual. Thank you in advance. This is Ritika, signing off for today.